All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I need to work a better intro for this stuff, man. I don't know why. I'm like, it's whatever. Hey, it's another episode of the Financial Aid Podcast. It's me, your incredibly handsome host, Matty D, or so I tell myself in the morning. I don't know what you tell yourself, Michael, but hey, at least it's what I tell myself. You know what I mean? Some
Yeah, for
positive
sure
act,
similar. For sure
right?
similar.
Back in another episode, and I have another guest on. How about money, some other stuff, what they do, how I should contact them, all the good stuff. But before I get into all that, I gotta do my little shameless promotion here. Some of you know that I do some things. Some of you don't know that I do some things. What do I mean by that? Well, I help people. I tend to help people out with credit, some business credit, one-on-one coaching, some funding, all that stuff. If you need help with one of those areas or something different, you can simply book a call with me at speakwithmatt.info. Again, speakwithmatt.info. No need to put in the triple W. Just speakwithmatt.info. That'll take you directly to um, my calendar. And from there, you can book a cool 30-minute call, and that's that. With that being said, Michael is my guest today. Thanks for being on, man. I appreciate you. How are you?
Thanks for having me, Matt. I'm doing well for Wednesday here in Florida.
I
Got some
hate you.
people
You're
call in this morning already, so we're
you're in
rocking.
Florida. You get the night. You're already at summer heat at this point.
Yeah, we were at summer heat last week actually, and then we've had a cold front this week, so I think we hit the mid 60s, maybe 70 degrees.
Yeah,
So
cold for you guys is like 65. And we're like, can we get 65 consistently? We have barbecues, everyone's going crazy and stuff, and
yeah,
like 60. Oh, it's so cold. I'm like, man, 60 degrees where we're at in Mid-Atlantic, far up north.
yeah,
That's cool. I'm glad we got the jealousy out the way. Then you're in a nice warmer state than I am throughout the year. The last
definitely.
time, last time I was in Florida was back in 2014. I came at a good time. I was living in Maryland still, and at that time it was really, really cold. Where like the temperatures were on like a high of 10 degrees one day, 14. It was ice on the road. Oh, it was bad.
Wow.
So I got on the plane. I was flying to Florida for a networking event, and I flew down there. And I'm looking at the side, like, wow, there's palm trees, and I'm still expecting it to be like real cold to get off. I'm like, it's 80 degrees. It feels warm. I'm like, this is crazy. I was like, wow. It was a nice change. I was like, man, let's quit my job and survive out here in the streets and just be warm. I don't care.
Yeah, or turn your job into a remote job so you can live and work wherever suits your fancy.
Yeah. The only thing about Florida that I am hesitant to like fully move there is the hurricanes, and that's part of the game. That's it, is what it is.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of like wondering, well, maybe I'll just have like a property down there and go there in like the winter months here, enjoy it, and then come back up, and then hopefully avoid the hurricanes. But it's nature. What are you gonna do? It happens every year. We hear about it.
Yeah.
I just don't want to deal with it, but whatever, it is what it is. So
Yep.
cool. But Michael, man, like, what's your story? Like, how did you get into what you do now and all that stuff? And who are you exactly? The people want to know. Why should I listen to this guy?
Sure. So I'm a business consultant and a financial coach. So how did I get into helping people better learn how to better handle their money? So I was pretty good with money growing up, and then I went to college, had a little student loan. I took Financial Peace University with Dave Ramsey after college, and then I decided to go to a big name school for graduate school and took over 100 grand in debt. So that was not my best moment. I guess I didn't fully learn the lesson of financial peace.
Yeah.
And then I found myself afterwards really good job. The pay wasn't that great, and I was just like the stress of having all that debt on me was just too much. And so one day in 2018, I was like, you know what? It's time to kick it into gear, and I did. And then 29 months later, for after a whole lot of movement, I was able to pay off 106 grand in student loans. So I navigated like some pretty severe health challenges along the way. And so I just know how much going through that helped me to create options in my life,
Yeah.
the stress relief it was for me. And so, I mean, ever since then, I've been growing my career. That started back then. I decided to become a financial coach with Dave Ramsey's team to help other people find a bit more peace with their finances and create more options with their life and their career. Um, yeah, so since I've done that, like my world has opened up. I moved around several different jobs. Met my wife here in Sarasota, and we are now I get the opportunity to walk my wife through the financial peace class, and we're debt free except for our house, and just living the baby steps and growing, growing a life together.
I like it. So you paid up 106 grand in student loans. Were there, I'm sure that was, I don't know, fun because especially right now with the student loan situation going on and people are just stressing out about it. They've been stressing about it for the last 5 years. All
Yeah.
that. Were there any like, what are some things you can share with people about how to like manage it? What should they do now? Because I've been trying to stay on top of it myself from a credit standpoint. 'Cause that'll just destroy your credit if you
Yeah.
don't like at the very least put it back in deferment and or get it deferred or forbearance to at least give you some room to be like, all right, let's form a plan because it's gonna come due at some point. Like what can you share with people on your journey through that? Because I'm sure it feels good. I'm sure it felt great to be like the last payment. Whoo, I'm done. You don't have to worry about that crap anymore. You know?
Yeah, no, I mean, I remember paying the last payment and it was during COVID, so I had put all my extra payments into a savings account and not actually made the payment until the very end. And then the last payment I made was like $24,000. So it was like, wow, that's a lot of money to to leave my bank account.
Mm.
And I mean, for the person out there with student loans, right now, the first thing I would say is like you need to do a current state assessment. You need to actually like go into your accounts, look at how much you owe, understand the interest that you're paying, like what's the plan. I'd suggest going to like a debt payoff calculator on the internet and running through some numbers through there just to like give you a better picture of like, hey, if I just do the minimum payments for this long, it's going to take me this long to pay it off. I'm going to pay this much in interest. And then a lot of these calculators can like you can adjust. So like, hey, if I make an extra $500 payment a month, $1,000 payment a month, then how is that going to affect the payoff plan and how much would you save in interest? And the other part you're going to need to look at is your budget. Like one, most people are not budgeting at all, so I would say you're going to need to start to budget your money, figure out what uh like your necessary expenses are each month, like your four walls, like your housing, your transportation, your food, utilities. So once you understand those numbers, you're gonna be able to look holistically at what do you need to pay each month, how much are you bringing in, what's the gap um, between where you are today and where you want to be tomorrow. So I mean, you may not have a whole lot of money left to pay extra on the student loan, so you're gonna have to like look for other ways to increase your income, whether it's side hustling or whether it's changing jobs or starting a business on the side.
Because don't you help people that too as well? I think when we first spoke, like you're like, we're gonna change this, but we also need to look at helping you increase your income for when you need it. Because I feel like a lot of people, when it comes to budgeting, that's something that they don't discuss. It's just, what's your budget? Okay, here's what it is, and it's like it's not. That's what it is for right now. That doesn't mean that this budget's gonna help you out in 10 years from now, or five, or shit, 6 months to a year. Things happen.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, when I work with people one-to-one financial coaching, you got to be willing to do extra to bring in extra money because from all the consultations, all the coaching that I've seen, most people have an income problem, and it's like hard to swallow. But the good news is that you can increase it. And whether that's, some people that I've counseled have started doing Uber Eats delivery, and then some people have done like moved on from that to bookkeeping, and one guy is doing handyman jobs on the side, and he made like $900 last month on the side doing handyman stuff, which isn't bad.
Yeah.
And yeah, and a lot of the times, I mean, if you've been at a company at a job for a long time, chances are your income growth is going to be pretty stunted there because typically, if you want to move up in your income, you're going to need to change a company because it's hard to like really increase your income at the same company you've been at for a while. And I've been through that myself, and I was able to increase my income by 60% when I was paying off my student loans by changing jobs 2 times, cashing out unused paid time off,
Yeah.
working on the side. So you're gonna have to do something different, most likely.
Get creative, I guess you could say.
You gotta think outside the box. That's what I challenge everyone I coach. It's what I challenge my wife for anything. It's just like think outside the box because doing things in the box is the most expensive way to do it. It's like how it's there's no creativity involved. And I mean, when I'm talking to people about their finances, I can come up with a million different ways to like solve their problem. And it's like, some people just haven't even looked into like how to fix their problem.
I was going to ask you, what makes you think, well, what do you think people have a hard time like looking into other ways to make money? Because I've asked this question to my girlfriend and other people as the kids. Like, I'm like, how many ways? One question I asked was like, how many ways are there to become a millionaire? And they're like, infinite. I'm like, okay, well then I want you to write it every single possible way you can make more money. And the kids, and they were like preteen to teens, between the four of them came up with like 15 different ways. And I'm like, okay. Well, I'm like, then I was like, well, did you guys see the gap? You said infinite and you can give me 15. It's huge, right?
Yeah.
Why do you think people are like, I don't know what I'm doing, and they just get stuck in that spot, you know?
Yeah. I mean, analysis paralysis is real. I mean, I have that in some areas of life, no doubt. And I think when you're thinking about just different ways to bring in money, just to get started, it could be as easy as Amazon delivery, Uber Eats delivery. It could be if you want people in your car, driving an Uber. It could be going to get a job at a restaurant nearby. It could be putting yourself out on Facebook as like a handyman. Could be selling something at your house. I mean, I just over the last couple of weeks, I've sold a bunch of stuff from our house, and I think I brought in around $2,000.
Nice.
People buy a lot of stuff.
We live in a consumer culture. Play to that card.
Yeah, it's just like, well, we don't need this. I mean, yeah, the key is just to not be too st picky about like the price. Just what's it worth to you to get rid of it?
Yeah.
So,
Here you go. Boom. And saying it's true, like another man's trash, someone else's treasure. Like you never know what you have for someone else to be like, oh, I need that. And you're like, really? And you just know what you have no idea. That's the beauty.
yeah. And I think the other thing for people with working extra is like there's kind of, little pride, a little ego is like, oh, like I've got this college degree, I've got this MBA or whatever, and I'm working extra. And I mean, I know the feeling. I've been there. I was working banquet staff part-time, bartending. I was a busboy and I was a barista at a restaurant one time. And I mean, I had an MBA, but
You're making it work.
it
Who
didn't
cares?
matter. Like
Yeah.
that's like that'll keep a lot of people. It may not be analysis paralysis. It may not be like, hey, I don't want people to know that I'm doing something to bring in extra money. But I mean, 80% of people out there are living paycheck to paycheck. And so chances are, if you've got 10 people in a room, 8 people in that room are living paycheck to paycheck. So
Yeah. I feel like as well too when it comes to making extra money and there's a lot of judgment in our culture. You're like, oh, you're doing that? That must mean you're not doing well. Like it's always a judgment. I'm like, and it's the stupidest thing because I have a friend of mine who he came in from Morocco, and it's like, and I think one of the reasons why immigrants tend to do better than we do, we have all this opportunity we're used to, but like we judge, we go, I'm not doing that. That's beneath me. I have this degree. I should be doing whatever, right? they come here not having as much food, and they're like, "Well, I can do X, Y, and Z. I don't care. I'm gonna do this, and this." And then, give them, a number of years, they've exceeded you. And you're still like, I'm gonna do this thing because I got too much pride and bullshit in my getting in my way. Instead of being like, I'm just gonna do it. You know?
Yeah, I mean, that's it's a real feeling. And I mean, I've lived all around the world and I've done pretty much every job in the book from like black car driver, from a soccer referee, from teaching kids how to swim,
Wow.
painting, pressure washing. Like you just do what you got to do you know, to get where you want to go.
Yeah.
And don't worry about what other people think, because one, I mean, most people are thinking about themselves most of the time anyway. So,
Yeah.
uh, yeah, and I think the other part is like, we have access to social media now, so everyone's posting like they're flexing on all these things. But I mean, chances are that vacation they're taking, like, it's on a credit card.
Very high, 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, with 20 something percent interest. You
Right.
see the other side of it. I mean, cars, car payments are keeping the middle class very poor.
Yeah.
It's
It's
insane.
the social media is another aspect. I'm glad you brought that up because it's very easy in social media to lie about your life and only show how good you're doing, and all these things you're doing, and then talk to people, yeah, I'm not doing so well, I suck, I'm broke, whatever. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing then? Why? And then you have that, but then you have the opposite end where people share too much. It's like stop complaining. Like you need to like chill out and just not
Yeah,
put it on social. It's like, what are you doing? Just
yeah,
because you can doesn't mean you should.
absolutely. And I think the thing to remember with social media is one, it's a highlight reel for like
Hmm.
99% of people. And all those cars that people are flexing, they can also be rented.
Oh yeah, rented,
So,
especially.
like, especially the people that are trying to buy my program, I'm gonna make you like, okay, like no doubt.
It's notorious for that on Instagram. No, it's notorious for this. The what's it called? The lifestyle influencers, and half of their stuff, most of them are lying. A lot of stuff's rented. Because I remember it was an episode of Joe Rogan podcast Dr. Phil was on. It was like over a year ago, where this it's crazy. This girl's on there saying, "Oh my God, which outfit should I wear to the NBA All-Star game, whatever final game, whatever." And like, I don't know how you found out, but she found out that she won. She didn't really go. She just made that post and like returned the clothes back. She's,
Yeah,
it was like, what?
yeah. I've
Uh,
seen some people would pay like some people pay someone to take like fake pictures of them for like as if they had gone to these different countries and
yeah, I seen that. Yeah,
pretty
yeah, yeah.
wild. Yeah.
The
So
fake thing. I'm on a plane or something, and they say some shit like, especially with the guys, like they'll be guy like with looking good, the haircut all fresh and looking off to the side, something like this, and be like, "You can do it, work hard, grind," and or or the ones that annoy me, and I've seen this before on a YouTube video where this guy was saying like, these financial influencers need to be stopped, and like. One of them was, it was like, this is what our friends did. And it was like going to work, graduating, blah, blah, blah. And then it shows what they're doing. They're driving fast cars out in Dubai with, jewelry on the steering wheel and doing this shit. I'm like, you pompous asshole. Like, no, you're not doing that. You're lying. It's stuff like that. It's just
yeah,
like, no, you're not.
yeah. I mean, I've been to Dubai and I don't think your average Joe is doing that. So
It was driving some exotic car racing somewhere. And like, of course, they're flashing money and things. And I'm like, you're lying. Because the dumb thing is, we're told to flash money, and it's like that makes you a target for some people, and then they come at you. Like, just don't do it.
yeah, it's interesting.
Just have your money, shut up, do your thing. You can look like you're broke, but you're not, and no one will know. You can just be chill about it. But yeah, no, that social media is a factor. I don't think too many people take into account for that. Has it ever come up in your like your consults, you talk to clients, and this is a random question. Have they ever been like, well, I couldn't do it because I see my friend on social media posting this stuff, blah blah blah. Has that ever come up in conversations before, or just
Uh, Not directly from social media. It's more like their friends are trying to get them to go on some crazy bachelorette party or a
worse?
birthday party, like going on a cruise. Um, yeah. And the girl was already like basically broke and got her decided to get her own cabin and all this stuff. And luckily I was able to convince her to downgrade. But yeah, I think it's a lot. It's more like people getting pressured into doing stuff. Like you feel like I have to go do this for so and so's birthday because they're really close to me or whatever. And everything's pretty expensive nowadays, especially when it comes to bachelorette parties. I mean, I just got married back in September. My bachelor party was paddleboarding and like lunch here locally, and then I went to dinner with friends and like that. That was
Got the
it.
low key. Ain't gotta go crazy.
Yeah, and I did it like a few days before the wedding so that my two groomsmen who were flying in didn't have to come for a second like trip. It was just part of their yeah,
Yeah,
their one trip. So
well, that's good. That's smart. Keep it what's you know what I mean? Like keep it simple. Ain't gonna go crazy. You got the money for it, you plan for it, different story, fine, but don't
yeah.
rush it into it.
Well, and to not have that expectation that someone is going to pay for whatever you come up with because you don't know what that person's going through, where they are, or like
Yeah,
what are their priorities for their life, their family, and stuff like that. So try to be mindful of that.
there's that too. What's been so far, if you're allowed to share, like the craziest financial story you've had deal with somebody so far? Like one you're like, what in the should I even take this? Or how'd you get to me?
I
Like that.
think it was one couple that wanted to go on vacation. They were broke. I was like, don't go on vacation. They went on vacation and then they signed up for the vacation club so that
Mhm.
they could save on future vacations and then they couldn't afford the payment for the vacation club after. Like I was just like mind blown. Not only did they go on the vacation, but like they signed up to like have to keep paying for it. And I was wow. Wow.
That's smart.
Yeah, and it was unfortunate. I mean, they had their first month that we worked together, they had made a whole lot of progress, and then it was, yeah, and it was just not.
A relapse. That happens. Mm.
Some people just, I mean, Dave Ramsey says you got to have your I've had it moment before you really change. And so I think for some people, I mean, for that couple in particular, they just hadn't had their moment of like we're sick and tired of where we are, not
Yeah.
making progress. And
Yeah.
we're
You,
sick and tired that we're willing to like not go on vacation.
yeah.
We'll do something else. So
Yeah.
that's huge.
That low point of I'm the I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. You're like, I'm done. Forget this. I need to make a change. It's that it's that yeah, like you said that I'm tired of it. That's that moment of pain. You're like, I'm done. Focus. Let's do it. And then you have all the motivation in the world to change. It's all within. And you'll do this, you do that, and you feel better
Definitely.
because you're creating a new financial future for yourself and getting to a place where you want to be and you're in control of it. So,
Absolutely.
mm, wow, sir, see a lot with things. What are your, I guess, I have this question as far as when it comes to kids, because I have a financial course for children. Like, what do you think parents should impart onto their children when it comes to money?
Hmm. I think making the connection between like money is something that you earn by creating value for others.
Yep.
It could be that you have, I don't know if you have like a piggy bank, or junior like books and stuff about like just teaching kids with money. Dave Ramsey has a lot of like Financial Peace Junior. There's some people have different piggy banks, like one for like spending, saving, and giving. So teaching kids from a young age that some money is for spending, some money is for saving, and then, you know, everyone loves a giver, right? So you want to instill like that value of generosity
Yeah.
in kids. I think could be like a chore chart where maybe they start to make the connection. There are a couple things that you do around the house that are going to earn you money. So they start to associate work with reward. Um, and yeah, maybe like goal setting. Maybe there's an extra toy that they want, and so they have a goal and they work towards that goal.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's good. I like
yeah.
that. Because instead of just getting something because you asked for it, which happens, um, I kind of myself in like I think I don't know what age I wanted. I started babysitting when I was like 12, 13. So I was like, all right, cool. I started already searching, all right, let me do something to get money to earn it at a young age. Because for me, I've always been I guess someone industrious work. I want to do my own thing, want to make money this way so I can get the things that I want. Because when you're in
Yep.
teenage years, you're like, I want to get things. Like, well, you get to earn money, you'll go at it, and it's good to impart that upon kids. Because I've always wanted get things no matter what it was. For some people, just got things. I'm like, what? How did they get this? Like, how do I do that? I have to get it myself. I was like, okay, well, how do I do it?
Yeah.
I don't care. You know, it was it was definitely a good time. But I wish I was taught more about money and budgeting. Actually, no, I've shared this story multiple times. Like, I had a bad taste in my mouth with saving because when I started babysitting, I was only making like $5 an hour, so it wasn't a whole lot. But my mother would take all the money I'd get from my basing, it'd be like $20, $30, whatever, take the entire thing and put it away to save. I couldn't touch any of it. So I learned real quick, I'm like, this sucks. I'm gonna work 4 or 5 hours, whatever, how many times to then not be able to spend any of it. And that sucked because I was like, what am I doing? Like, what am I can't use it. It's just gonna sit there and what? Like, I need to. There's things I wanted, so that screwed me up in terms of saving money years later because I was like, I think money is stupid, not fun. So I'm not gonna do it. So
Yeah. I could see, I've seen some people will say like to get the piggy banks with that are like glass. So one, like you can see your money accumulating. And there's something about like when you're younger, being able to see something. Because if it's just taken away and put in a bank account and you have no
yeah,
visual, there's no visual of it, it's not as real. I would also say like it could be I had this debt payoff like chart. So it could be like a chart that's like when you earn money from babysitting, like you color in, like part of that is going towards the
something.
like
Yeah,
your
you got
toys.
to see it. You're like, okay, cool. And then
Yeah,
when
so you have some kind of visual, whether, depending on how much you're making, right? You're not gonna want to have thousands of dollars in a little piggy bank, um,
Let's-
but I think that visual connection, whether it's physically there of the money or whether it's some kind of physical chart where they're marking it, and then when they get older, it could be just access to like an app that the money.
yeah,
So.
that's what this younger generation has, and they have apps. We didn't have that. It was just basic paper. I was like, okay, that's what it is.
Yeah. And then it's like, what age are they? How early are they on an iPad or I don't know,
God.
Android, whatever you want. So,
I don't know about that. iPads, it's so convenient, but it's such a trap.
yeah, we're not at the kid stage yet. So, we'll get to that when we get to
Yeah.
it.
I've seen too many kids though in stores and things, and like they're watching something on the cell phone, just whatever over and over. I'm like, yo, like I get it, but that's not a healthy thing. Get some quiet, I get that, but I'm like, it's not good. You know,
Yeah,
get
I
them read
definitely
a
feel
book.
when you see kids that aren't on it, like that's impressive.
Yeah.
A few of my friends, they do a really good job, and their kids are just like, yeah, present. And we had lunch with one of my friends and her daughters, and there was no devices, and they were just like it was insane. It was really good. Like
You have a unicorn for a child. Good grief.
they do an amazing job raising their daughters for sure.
Good. What, can y'all write a book on this? What did you do? How does it
I
work?
know, right? I'm
Yeah.
taking notes.
Big notes like yes, future for use it for the back. Cool, cool. So the money thing. Um, as far as with what's going on right now, with there's market uncertainty with stock market and the tariffs talk and all this stuff going on. Like, what what do you advise people to do if they're worried about their future and especially got debt and we've had it, with inflation being high for longer we don't like and it's just crazy. Like, what do you think? I know one thing you mentioned is like, hey, get a self-assessment. Is that like the first step of
Yeah,
any?
you got a current state assessment. Where are you? If you're in debt, I would pause investing just in general, regardless of what the market is doing, because if you're in debt, you want as much of your income to go towards paying off that debt. If you're in the market right now, I mean, especially if you're young, I would just leave it there. I mean, I'm not an investment person, but
Yeah.
the stock market is a roller coaster. The only people who get injured on a roller coaster are those who jump off of it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So,
Just stay in it. Just you'll be fine. Just
yeah,
long
and
term
if
thing.
the Dow will open 2000 down and then it ends like 1200 up, like the everyday ups and downs in the market. I mean, that's for your average investor. I wouldn't sweat it.
Yeah.
If you're closer to retirement, I'd just say reach out to your financial person and get advice. Um, but then as far as like tariffs go and the potential for certain things to become more expensive, well, if you're in debt, like you wanna trim down, pare down as much to just the necessities of life so that you can make progress.
Yeah.
And um, a lot of things are pretty cheap and right now, and but buying a bunch of cheap stuff, it adds up. So I just like regardless of the tariffs, if you want to buy like a new shirt or a new shoes or whatever, I guess just ask yourself like, is this purchase gonna help me get to where I want to go? Like, what do you want your life to look like? And if you buy this thing now, is it gonna help you work towards that goal or is it gonna hurt you? And you can say, oh, it's only like $5 or $10 from Temu, but generally it's
Email.
not just one transaction. It's like multiple transactions
Yeah.
and I know that from like Amazon myself and like the transactions come through in the budgeting app just as Amazon, but you don't know what it is. So I'm like, what did we buy?
It's like
And
what exactly like how much? What did I buy? Yeah, I
yeah, Amazon has a great return policy, by the way. Like if you bought something and you have not used it, return that sucker. Like you
Yep,
don't need it.
that's good to know. I had a fraudulent transaction from Amazon recently over the weekend. Like someone had got home my information about like almost like close to $90 of stuff on Amazon, and I was like, first off, I know it was up late.
Hmm.
Was I drinking? Yeah, but I didn't. I know I did not go to Amazon. I didn't do that. I was like, what? I was like, I didn't call the bank. They're like, yeah. I was like, this is not. And they, credit the money back. But
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, I didn't buy this shit. This is for you guys. Oh man. No, I see what
Yeah.
you're saying. It's just, and paying the debt down because that kind of sucks you dry of where the money could go.
And it limits your options. Like it really does. And if you're in debt and you lose a job, it's an even bigger problem.
Mm,
And if you want to try something new, if you want to, live a different life in the future, the more debt you have, the more it's going to limit your options. Like, I mean, part of the reason why I wanted to get out of debt was that I didn't want, if I ever got married, for my wife to have to work because of all the student loan debt.
yeah.
When you make decisions like I did, taking out over 100 grand, like I mean, math is math. Like you're either gonna have enough money coming in or you're not. And so, like, I had no idea if I would get married at the time, so that was like 2018, and I got married in 2024. So 6 years of just not, knowing. But you
Yeah.
gotta figure out what you really want out of life and make a plan to get there. And I mean, shortly after I paid off all my debt, I lost my job. So that was like a huge unexpected
Right.
curve, but I had been able to get some savings in that time, and then my cost of living was so low, and then I learned contentment so that I was able to like weather the storm
Yeah.
and got to work. So
So you got to relax a bit and go, all right, cool, we're good for now.
I did some random stuff
Yeah.
in the meantime, and I had a little bit of like a break and just, it was a short period, but it was, yeah. I mean, I was doing something that I didn't really want to do at the time, so
So it kind of worked out in your favor.
yeah,
Luckily, right after you paid your job, you're like, great, I'm done with debt and I'm done with the job. Not my call, but okay, cool. The universe saying you're gonna go this way instead. It's like cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
And think about it. If there's company layoffs, it's like it's no longer if you're out of debt and you have an emergency fund, it's not some crazy life-shattering thing. It's like, oh, what's the severance? And then like you proactively go for the next opportunity.
Yeah.
And hey, if you find yourself in a work situation that you don't love and you don't have any debt and you have savings, like you could, if things got super bad, like just walk away.
Yeah.
So I don't really
Well,
advise people walking away if they don't have something lined
yeah.
up or are not willing to do something. But like all that to say is you have options.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of people, even when they do have like that safety net, they're still afraid to go off because we're conditioned like, I need the stability. It's like, that's what it's there for. It's not gonna like go anywhere. I feel like a lot of people, they let that fear hold them back for something that could be greater or better that they actually want to make them happier. Because like we will just accept and get used to whatever situation we're in and be like, well, because an unconscious level is like, well, it's what we know, we're still alive. And then when you go for something new, you're like, whoa, shit, well, can we handle this? And we just accept it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've been there before. I think that whether you're loving your W-2 full-time work, I think everyone should have something on the side just because you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah,
Um, and also, I mean, like I lost my job and I've lost my job two times before. Like
jeez.
it's like there's a little bit more safety, but there's not necessarily that. I mean, because at the end of the day, a business is going to make a business decision. If a company is like, oh, we treat everyone like family, like that's a red flag to me because in my experience, those are not the ones that do. Um, I just I just would say like improving your financial life is something that you will not regret. Like it's going to open opportunities. And yeah, I mean, I think you should try a side hustle, especially if you have a job right now. So,
I think people too as well, the resistance to that is a lot of people they do work hard at the job and they're like, well, now there's like, well, I gotta work even harder. And I think that's the misconception of thinking is like, no, you necessarily have to work harder. It's now, well, choose something that if you want to make extra money that you actually enjoy and it won't feel like a second job or something you have to do. It'll be different, you know. People to consider that. Kind of like you can figure out what you want to do, and in the meantime, choose something else and go, all right, I'm choosing to do this temporarily until I figure out what it is I really want. And then it's different versus, oh crap, I have to do this. And then most people just don't do it.
yeah, and I mean, I think the other part to think about for something like a side hustle, whether that's you become a personal trainer on the side, or you're a lifeguard, or you do financial coaching, maybe you do career coaching. But anything like when it's your thing, I mean, the more you work, the more like you're keeping all the returns. It's not like you're not working extra to grow someone else's business. It's you're putting
It's
in
for
this extra
you.
time for you, your family, and to create a potential, other opportunity. And not everyone's made to like be independent. Not everyone's meant to be a solopreneur or an entrepreneur or a business owner. Not everyone's meant to be that, and it's totally fine. Um, I just say, I think it could be even just for a creative outlet. Like
Yeah.
a lot of people just get kind of stuck in the routine of their job. So at a minimum, doing something on the side is gonna like help you become more creative and learn to manage your time a little bit better.
Yep. Yeah. And that's what I think people understand the flexibility. Like you said earlier, you have options. We're not trained to look at having options. Like, okay, this is what I'm doing, this is what it is. Boom, oh my God, not have to do extra work and work harder. It's like, no, 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 no. Look at options. Options. Like if you don't like the side hustle, choose a different one. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
There's so many things we can do, and we don't take the time to really look at other things. I mean, shit, man. You can go on YouTube and be like, extra ways to make money. There's videos people say, here's 5 extra ways, 5 easy ways, 5 boring. Like, it's there's so many different ways. It's stupid. I started watching a video months ago, a couple months ago, where it was like 5 or 6 jobs or something that pay 6 figures or more, but they're boring. And I started looking into it. I'm like, some of them like one was so boring. I forget it was remote. You had to like click things, and I was like, I don't know if I could do that for 6 figures. Like it was legit. I was like, really, how boring could it be? And then you look at, you're like, oh,
maybe in the right environment, maybe like doing it outdoors, or
I
something like that.
guess.
I would definitely work by my pool and
Or things were locked in COVID. You're like, well, I'm just gonna do this and get paid 6 figures, you know? But
yeah,
literally, there's so many different things, and like, just take the time to, at the very bare minimum, look to see what your options are and just go, okay, and then that gets the gears turning, and you'll see what's there. And it's stupid. Like my girlfriend's become now this like bookseller, like a hustler selling books, like this book room next
yeah,
and that was supposed to be a room just to read. Now it's filled to all across the floor on these shelves filled with books, tons of books that she's one constantly getting from thrift stores, constantly on Pango. And I'm like, can you stop buying new books and focus on the supply we have and then sell that, and at least once you get halfway, which is a lot, it's gonna take you a while, then buy new ones. It's I'm just like, that's not a bad thing, but it's better than shoes. But I'm like, okay, we only have so much room. Stop.
yeah,
But there's that too. Pango Books is one thing you can do as well. If she enjoys it, she gets books, sells it, lists it, ship them out. I'm like, all right.
yeah,
But there's that too. People, the ways to make money are it's endless and it's ridiculous. And there's one story I think people don't even remember. But I used to with the kids, or at least I did this with the kids. I did my Fontalucci course, and I did a free Fontalucci class at a local library. I asked them this question. I was like, if I came to you with the rock, would you buy it? They're like, no. Okay, if I dress up, would you buy it? Like, no, I wouldn't buy a rock. Really? Okay. There was a guy who sold the pet rock and became a millionaire. And they're like, are you serious? I'm like, look it up. I showed it to them. They're like, I'm like, yeah. He came the concept of a pet rock and became wealthy. Therefore, you have no excuse to not make extra money.
yeah,
Like people bought a rock that you can get outside every day, but since it was presented a certain way, suddenly now has value, and then we're willing to pay money for it.
yeah, definitely.
It's funny. So. But Michael, man, I think you've been on. It's been a good conversation. Anything else you want to share? You know, impart upon those who will watch this now and in the future.
Yeah, so I'd say for everyone out there, it's time to do a spring clean. Take a look at your finances, see see what you're spending, where the money's going. Do a little life dream session. What kind of life do you want to live
I like
in
that.
this month, in the future? And I would say start to make some moves for the future that you want and reach out. We can chat about your finances and see if financial coaching is right for you. I do one-to-one financial coaching. I do financial workshops. In the future, I'll be doing some group financial coaching. Not there just yet, but getting an outside perspective on your finances, an accountability partner could do wonders for your finances. Just like if you're out of shape and you want to get into better shape, you hire a personal trainer, or if you're sick, you go to a doctor. So yeah, that's where a financial coach could could come in to help. And think about what you're doing. Like, do you enjoy what you do for work? And if not, maybe think about what the future could be.
Make that change. The Man in the Mirror, Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
That should be your theme
Hard
song.
to take the steps to make the change because
Yeah, that should be your
I'm
theme song.
yeah.
Man in the Mirror, great song. Last question is how can people contact you and reach you, man?
Sure, you can contact me right now. I'm on LinkedIn, Crescent Financial Coaching or Michael Baker. I will be having a website going up here shortly, be crescentfinancialcoaching.com. And yeah, I'm on Instagram, but it's not really used for business at this stage, so maybe in the future. And we'll get a link so that you can put it in the YouTube or thing for this. But yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Well, let's say everybody. Thanks for being on, Michael. Appreciate you. And that is it.